Okay, boss. Good morning. As we discussed in the last class, we won't deal with this. Yeah. If you see, I've told you about HANA. I'm in the modeling HANA modeling perspective. Remove this. Okay. I'm in the HANA modeling perspective, and I have this schema called SAP HANA underscore demo, and I have some tables in this. Don't worry about these. I have some tables in this. Okay. So what I want to do is first we need to understand the scenario, what we're looking at. So, yeah. Now the scenario is this. Okay. Now I have the another box. I have SAP HANA box. Within this, I have this. I built my. Okay. I've zoomed it. This should be fine. Okay. Now I have within this HANA database. I have. I have got a schema called SAP underscore HANA underscore demo. Okay, and I have some tables within this schema. Okay, tables. We have got some tables given. Now, as of now, you should not worry about how these tables were created and how the data is populated into these tables. Your assumption should be we have some source applications, whether it could be SAP or non-SAP. Okay, we have some source applications. Okay, through which we have leveraged some data provisioning tech. This should be your assumption. Okay? Say from this SAP or non-SAP applications, we have leveraged data provisioning techniques, this extraction mechanisms, whether it could be flat file imports or whether it is through SLT, system replication mechanism, SAP landscape transformation, real-time replication mechanism, or it could be through ETL tool as BODS, or it could be through smart data access, or it could be through smart data quality and smart data integration. It could be I could have used any mechanism. We're least bothered about this mechanism. So by using either of these data provisioning mechanisms, I have assumed that we have extracted data from SAP or non-SAP applications. We have leveraged some data provisioning techniques and imported these tables or extracted those tables and has been stored into this schema bus SAP HANA underscore demo. Now on these tables, I would like to do analysis, and where on the front end, I would like to use leverage business objects. So I would like to use BO and do reporting on top of it. On the front end layer, I have business objects, or we can call it as SAP BI, or we can call it as SAP BI BO. Anything. Okay. So the scenario is like this: from SAP or non-SAP applications, I've leveraged this data processing techniques and I've pushed the data into those. I've extracted those tables or data into these tables, which is stored in SAP underscore HANA underscore demo. And on the So now I've got data stored into these tables, right? On these tables, I would like to do reporting on business objects. That's my scenarios. So this is about implementing a data warehousing or enterprise warehouse with SAP HANA. If this is the scenario. Now, first option is I can straight away expose these tables to business objects. So what they can do in business objects, they can leverage something called IDT, information design tool, and they can create a universe. They can create a connection to HANA. They can create a universe where they consume these tables and build a schema, and then they can expose it and do reporting with WebB or SAP Lumira, Design Studio, or whatever it is. Okay. Now, are we clear on the scenario? Yeah? If anyone who is not clear on this scenario at what we're looking at, please say no so that I can explain again. So this is the scenario we are in. Okay. So having said this, now if this is option, if they consume these tables in the BO environment, what happens? They would consume these tables. Okay. So mostly what happens is whatever the information we require may not be available in single table. They would go about consuming multiple tables and they create joins in this IDT. In the universe, they go about creating the joins. Okay. So then what happens? Whenever you run the query, the joining takes place at the business objects layer or at the reporting layer, which will affect your performance of the reporting. So since my HANA is in-memory database or in-memory data platform, I would like to leverage the performance of SAP HANA. So I would like to push this mechanism of joining or slicing and dicing, all these concepts into push. I would like to push this mechanism of joining or slice and dicing to SAP HANA. Not the I do not do this in IDT. So what we do is instead of exposing these tables onto reporting, what we do, we will create the modeling. We will do the modeling here. We'll do the modeling here. So through modeling, we'll create modeling artifacts, which could be your attribute view, analytical view, or calculation. And not calculations, calculation view. Right? And we can basically define these views. Then, so when you say modeling, let's say the required data would be in multiple tables, or some table might have lots of. Let's say there is a table with 10 columns, but we only want to project only 5 columns. So selecting only, slicing only those 5 columns. Or let's say there might be a table with lots of records. I just want to filter out some data. So filtering, projecting only certain columns, or joining multiple tables. All these aspects of slicing and dicing and projecting what is required can be achieved with modeling. As part of this modeling, you go about creating these artifacts, whether it's calculation view, analytical view, or attribute view. Then consume these views at report. See, we cannot consume attribute view, but we can consume analytical view or calculation views at the reporting layer in business hub, whether it is WebB or through Design Studio or through Lumira, we can consume this. Is modeling more flexible and simpler in IDT than HANA? No. So first thing is we should not look at whether it is simple or complex. We should look at which gives you more flexibility, which gives you more flexibility, more in-depth options of modeling. So HANA modeling will give you more decent development tools or options or flexibility to design more complex modeling artifacts. We'll see how it is done in this. Okay. Now, nowadays from SP2, even though there are 3 types of views, your point of focus should be only calculation views. Even in the real time, we are creating only calculation views only. We are not getting into attribute view or analytical view. We are straight away focusing only on calculation views. Why? Because whatever the logic or what are the concept we are implementing with attribute view can be implemented with calculation view. What are the concept or logic we are implementing with analytical view can also be implemented with calculation view. So when calculation view can implement any kind of scenario, whether what you could do with attribute view or analytical view, so why would I go with this? So even if you look at future, SAP would be focusing purely on calculation. They're not really counting on attribute view or analytical view. They're purely counting on calculation view only. Okay. In old, yes, see, even in old also we still go with calculation view only, boss. Okay. Because I'm working with one of the customer with SP11. We still, I'm able to implement every scenario with calculation. I'm not touching attribute or analytical view. Straight away I go with calculation because I'm able to achieve all the logics. What you could do with attribute or analytical view straight away in calculation, then why would I go into that? So that's the option. Yeah. So what I would do, see, for you, I will teach you all the three. But what I will do first, I'll go with the calculation view straight away. We'll get in-depth knowledge on this view completely. Then we'll see what we can do with analytical view and attribute view. Okay, just to touch on that, there is a possibility of doing those views. But your focus also should be on calculation view only. Okay, boss. Okay. So once I create this calculation view, it can be consumed with the reporting. Boss. Like we'll have different reporting flavors like WebB or Design Studio. Yeah, Web Intelligence, or let's say we have if it is Lumira 2, it's all together. Let's say latest one, if it is Lumira Designer or Lumira Discovery. So now Design Studio will be called as Lumira Designer in the late in Lumira 2. Okay, or we can go with Lumira Discovery, Lumira Designer, or WebB, or Crystal Reports. These will be the major reporting flavors going forward. Crystal Reports, WebB, and then Lumira Designer or Design Studio or Discover. So by using either of these reporting flavors, I can do reporting by consuming this calculation. This is the scenario. So any doubts till here, what we are doing it, what we're trying to do here, everyone is clear on this. You see, you don't have to feel bad if you don't understand. I'm okay to explain, but the concept is important. So going forward, I'll be spending most of the time. Let's say for another 3 4 days, we'll be spending time on creating calculation view. But you should not get doubt how these tables came in, who gave these tables, how this data came. No, that's just an assumption from the external sources, whether it is SAP or non-SAP. We have leveraged this data provisioning techniques and brought in or extracted those tables into SAP HANA system. And on top of those tables, I'm going to create my views and use leverage them for reporting. This is the mechanism. You understood the scenario, right? Good. Now we are focusing on calculation. So I would like to understand about creating calculation view. That's the point. Okay, fine. But before we get into creation of this calculation views, I strongly believe I can do very good modeling if I understand the data what I have in these tables. So I strongly believe that if you understand the data part of it, if you really understand the data what is there in these tables, it would really make sense when you're trying to do the modeling. You don't have to worry about the how we do it. See, modeling is very simple as long as you understand the data. Okay, is a table with 4 TB size data coming from big data source. How can we handle in HANA? That's what I was telling you. As part of HANA, when you want to handle big data, can you anyone answer this? What is the native solution of HANA for big data solutions for big data? What is this? Can anyone answer this? What is the native solution from HANA for big data to handling big data? Anyone can answer this? Smart data access. No. Any other option? Smart data access is what? Through smart data access, you actually remotely access the database. Yes, Malapati is correct. It is dynamic tiering bus. Yeah, nothing but multi-store table which comes from dynamic tiering. So you have to implement the concept. You have to install, manage, and implement dynamic tiering, which will through which you configure the extended storage, and then handle provide the solution towards big data. Good, excellent. Okay, boss. Yeah, fine, fine. Now let's look at this. Now I just want you to make you understand about this tables. Boss. Okay, good. Uh, so this tables is about. So where is this section? Hmm. I've got this tables, right? This tables is mainly giving information about a company. Understand this. These database tables are giving you information about an enterprise or a company data, mainly containing of two things. One is sales and one is purchasing. One is sales and one is purchasing. Okay, so you have got some tables which is giving you sales information. You got some tables which is giving you purchasing information. Okay, and there are some tables surrounding it because when you say sales is one transaction and purchasing is about one transaction, right? So when you say transaction, it will be associated with some entities. Say, so it is associated with customer, or I would say business partner. What they've done is instead of because with the new S4 HANA, we don't have anything like customer or this thing. They call a concept called business partner. So once you create a business partner, he could act as a customer or he could act as a supplier, anything it is. Yeah. So I have a business partner. So you see some entity called business partner. Okay, and you will see details about entities about product. Okay, products because this company would deal with some set of products, right? So what are the all the details of the products, and then I've got business partner. Business partner could be a customer or a supplier. Okay, and then I've got employees. Then I've got employees. Okay, then I've got certain details about time, means like date and time. Okay, it's not a major entity. Don't worry on this. So major entities are like your business partner, which could be a customer or a supplier. And next we have the different products. Okay, then employees. And these three entities, business partners, products, and employees, are by using these three entities, we are performing these transactions, either sales or purchasing. So what happens? Whenever the company performs a sales transaction, whenever they're selling some products, that is sale, and whenever they're purchasing some product, that is purchasing. So whenever they perform some sales transaction, they will be recording that into the database, saying what is the sales or sales ID, who was the business partner involved in this sales, to which product did we sell this, who was the employee who performed it, and what date and time it was done, what was the total quantity we sold, what was the gross amount. All those details will be there in sales database, right? Then in the purchasing, we'll say for each purchase transaction, you'll have a unique purchase ID. Then from which supplier we have purchased it, what was the product we purchased, in what quantities did we purchase, and who was the employee who was involved in this purchase. So this kind of details will be there in the purchasing list. Okay, now good. Now either it is sales or purchasing, we'll have sales header data and we'll have item data. Okay, same way we'll have purchasing. We have two things: purchasing header and purchasing item. Now, do you all understand what is header and what is item database? Say, when you perform a sales transaction, or nothing but when you're selling, do you sell only for one sales transaction? Do you sell only one product, or can you sell multiple products? For one sales transaction, when you when you are doing some sales, do you sell only one product for one item or one transaction, or do you sell multiple items for one sale? Yes or no? We can sell multiple items, right? Let's say I have a sales transaction. Let's say sales transaction one. Let's say the customer is C1 or something, and I'm selling two products P1, which let's say the quantity is 5 here, and then total value is 10. Again, I'll say sales S1, but the customer would be still same, even though you're selling multiple products of the same sales. Product is different, but customer remains same. So there'll be certain information which is common for the sales order, but the item level will be different. So for this, the quantity would be, let's say, 3, and here the value might be something like, say, 60, right? So this we call it as item level data. Means in a sales order, when you have multiple items, inform when you in sales order when you have multiple products, information specific to each product or each item, we would call that as item level data. And when you see some information which is common for all the items, let's say the customer is would be same for even though he buys multiple products, the customer is same. So when you see some information which is common for all the items of a product, all the items of a sales order, or information specific to sales order, we call that as header bus. So whenever you see some information specific to each item in a sales or each product in a sales order, we call that as item level data. Whenever you see some information which is specific to the sales order or common for all the items of the order, we call that as header bus. So this is like header, and these information is like items. I hope you understand. Same way you'll have it for purchasing also. Header details and item details. Okay, good. Now you get the basic understanding. Now let's see the tables data. Now look at this. um, I don't know. Last. I'm using the Vasu system actually. One second, connect. I'm basically connecting to the remote desktop. What he gave me. Hmm. Now, so I would like to show you all the same kind of data in the tables now. We have a table called sap.hana.democontent.epm.data MD. There is a table name called business partner. This is what I was telling you. This is an entity which will have two things. One is customer and supplier. Okay. Now let me just select this. Okay. Right click on this table, and I would like to see the data in this table. Right click and say open data preview. Can we achieve same requirement using CD using good? Now, very good question. Now there is a student Rakesh who is asking a question saying, his question is this way. He's saying, instead of creating HANA models here, can I create ABAP CDS views? There's also the latestly this is the important concept. It should be clear. So can I leverage ABAP CDS views and then do achieve the same? Instead of creating models with the calculation views, can I create the same? Can I implement the same kind of modeling logic with ABAP CDS views and then achieve the same? Was that the question, Rakesh? Did I understand the question correctly? You're saying instead of
Yes,
calculation view, why don't I leverage this ABAP CDS views and then do the modeling? That was the one, Rakesh.
yes,
Yes,
you are correct. Yeah, you are correct.
Rakesh, just reply whether it is yes. This is what you assume to be. Yeah, what I understood is correct. Okay, good. Now, when it comes to this ABAP CDS views, you create this ABAP CDS view in HANA layer or in HANA perspective, but it creates the corresponding runtime objects in the SAP application server. Okay. So, see, when you create ABAP CDS views, as part of HANA modeling perspective, you use OpenSQL and build the ABAP CDS views, but it creates the runtime objects in the ABAP application layer or SAP NetWeaver application layer. It means I'll be able to leverage ABAP CDS views with the same concept, provided I have an SAP NetWeaver application running on top of HANA. So this is um, S4 HANA, or you can understand it to be a SAP BW for HANA system, which are running on SAP NetWeaver ABAP 7.5. You can say it could be either of this S4 HANA or BW for HANA, and at the bottom layer I have the HANA database. In the back of it, I have HANA database. So now when I log into this HANA database, I'll have two options. Either it is HANA modeling through calculation view or ABAP CDS views. Here, when I create an ABAP CDS view, makes sense because you create that in HANA modeling HANA perspective or HANA database, and the runtime object will be created in the application server bus, which is in S4 HANA or BW HANA. Okay. But now, if you look at your scenario, we are not having any SAP application on top of it. This is just an enterprise or native HANA system. This is just an enterprise native HANA system bus. I just have a HANA box. I don't have any SAP application sitting on top of it. So in this case, if I create ABAP CDS views, in which NetWeaver or which SAP system will it create that view bus? The runtime view. If I have a situation where I have some S4 system sitting on top of HANA or BW system sitting on top of HANA, then I can create my ABAP CDS view in the HANA modeling layer or in the HANA layer, which will create the runtime object in this S4 HANA system, which I can access in SC11 or in BW4 HANA. But that is not the case here, right? I am just working on pure native SAP HANA box where there is no SAP application sitting on top of it. Okay, so then ABAP CDS view does not come into picture. Okay, ruled out. This does not come into picture now. Okay. Sir, where I was, sorry. Okay, was now. So first I'm looking at this table, business partner. Okay, and now instead of going to data, first I want you to see this. Again, this one. Nothing is put immediate logout. Is put immediate logout. Okay. So I have a table called business partner. Right click on this. First, I would like to see the definition of this. I see the definition as, look at this columns. I've got a column called partner ID, database, where okay. Partner role. See, this is the unique ID for every partner, and the partner role tells you whether is a. I told you, business partner could be a customer or a supplier bus. Okay, so this partner role column will tell you whether this partner is going to be a customer or a supplier. Then the email address or phone number, fax, web address. This is the name of the company. Means this partner need not be an individual; it could be a company, right? So which company is it? Okay, whether what kind of legal firm, whether private limited or public limited or what it is. Then I have got currency column. In which currency do they deal with? Okay, because A company which is located in Germany would deal in euros. A company which is located, let's say there is a partner company which is located in India, they would deal with INR. So this is the data I've got in this partner tables. Okay. And there is a column called address ID. There is a column called address ID. Okay, good. I don't have any address details of the partner here, but there's address ID. Now let me see the data in this table. So when you go to data preview, you can close this out. When you go to data preview, I see this. There is something called partner ID. Okay, I've got something. Partner ID is like some unique number like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and I see some partner role as 1 and 2. There are some entries with 1. There are some entries with 2. Now I don't know what is 1 and 2 as of now, but there is 1 and 2. I'll make you understand. And this is just normal email ID, a phone number, and there's a fax number, and there is a web address through which I can communicate with the website of the partner. Address side, I'll come to this. And this is the name of the company, this partner name, or legal for whether it is AIG, private limited, or whatever it is. And don't worry on this tree. And then there's something currency here. So in which currency does this customer deal with? There are some with euros, USD, Japanese, or whatever it is. Okay, Canada and dollars also. But there's something called address ID. Address ID is actually helping you. I need to know more detailed address of this partner. Okay. So what they've done is given us another table called addresses. Okay. Look at this. There is another table called addresses here. Now let me see the definition of this table. Let me see the definition of this table. So addresses ID is a primary key in this. And for each address ID, you can know what is the city, postal code, street, building, country, region, address type, long. See, latitude and longitude. And I've got point also. The point, see, you know about latitude and longitude. Point is the coordination of both. A point is a coordinate of, see, look at this. They're using a data type called ST point. This is nothing but geospatial data type. ST point. ST point, nothing but geospatial. Okay. So you'll have latitude, I have longitude, and the point is nothing but coordinates with both. I'll say X and Y coordinate, right? Whenever you have a point, you will say X and Y. Normally, if you say in Excel, now what is this cell? It is this is 144th row, and which column it is C. So it will say C. So it is an intersection of C and 141. So this is coordinates, point. Same way, if you have some map or something like this, I don't roughly guess a map. If I hold one point, let's say this is, I make this very small. Assume this is very small, and each point would have some coordinate X and Y, right? So that is called ST point. That is called ST point. Okay. So the geospatial data is available here. Now, so I see address ID here. So from the business partner table, if I know the address ID, from this address ID, I can find out the city, country, region, everything from this table. Okay. So let me just see the data in with this table addresses. Now, if I go to this table, addresses table, I see something called address ID, which is unique here 1, 2, 3, 4 something. And then for each address ID, it represents a city. Here, if you look at address ID 1, it represents Munich, and the postal code is this. And there is some street or building and country, whether D, Germany, and US country, yeah, Great Britain, yeah, France. You see the countries, and they logically group these countries into regions. EMEA, America, AMER. Yeah, we'll also have APJ, Asia Pacific. I've got AMER, Asia Pacific, okay, and AMER, America, Europe, and Asia Pacific. And there is something called address type 2 and 1. I'll tell you what it is later. And then we have got the points here, latitude and longitude, and we have ST point here, which is in the, okay, ST point. Okay, don't worry on that. Fine. Like this, I can get to know the city, state, country details. Okay. And then I was telling you one more in this main partner table, there's something called partner role. It is 1 and 2. one indicates something and two indicates something else. But I don't know what is one and what is two. So what they've done is they've given another table called constants. Okay, they've given a table called constants. Let me go to this. Um, if you go to the constants, there is some concept called domain. Don't worry, now. I know this name. BP role, business partner role. Look, if you go to this, this is business partner role, right? So now let me just filter on this. Select this BP role, right click, apply quick filter. So it will only show data only for this BP role. Now here you see the value. One in German, D is German language. It indicates Kund. Okay, and two referent. Okay, nothing. Let's see in English. Okay, so one indicates in English language it says what, customer. BP02 in English language it says supplier. In English language it says supplier. Okay, good. Now I get to see all these details here. Now their address. If I go to the address table again, there is something called address type, but I didn't know what is two and what is one. You will still find that in the execute this, remove the filter and there's something, see, D underscore AD underscore type, address type. Just filter on the address type now. Now address type, if you see, one indicates what, it's a private address, and two indicates what, it's a business address. So like this, I have a table of constants which is explaining me all those indicators. Okay, one is private and one is public. Now if I look at the first partner, let's take out the first partner 0. What is the partner role here? 1, right? If I go to this partner role, as part of this, if I look at this 4 records, right? In the partner role, 1 indicates what? Customer. So it's saying this 000 partner is a customer. And then you see address ID as 34. If I, with this address ID, if I go to my address table, go and see 34. Let me see 34. So 34 is this. So 34 indicates Waldorf city and some country here, street, and it says Germany and EMEA, and this is the latitude and longitude. Okay, and then again this address type is 02, and address type 02 indicates what? Address type in English 02 indicates it's a business address. Like this, I can get to see the details of this customer spread out at the tables like this. Now, can anyone answer why is this information spread into multiple tables? Why they have not stored in single table? They could have stored. The basic question I would get is, why should I store in different tables and then combine was? Why don't I store everything in single table? The business partner data, address information, this constants, everything I could have stored in single table, right? Why not in? Why should I store in different tables? Yes, Sridhar says it is because of normalization, boss. Yes, exactly. Because if I try storing all the data in a single table, normally your remote databases or applications would be using RDB, relational database. If they store data in a single table, they would end up having data redundancy, or it will become denormalized with data redundancy, wasting a lot of database space. So that's where in the source applications, as part of normalization, they would spread the information into multiple tables, and that's how it will be more normalized. Okay, good. This is about business partner data available in tables. But this is very important because that is where you can be strong in modeling, only when you understand the database. Next, I have a table called products here. Let me see this product. Right click, open definition. I see the products table as product ID, which is a unique key, primary key here, with the date nvar 10, and then it's primary key here. And there's something product type, and then product category, and some date or something here. And then I've got some name ID. Name ID should help me out to get the name of the product. And there's something called description ID, which should help me out to get the name description of the product. So there's something, two things here. One is name would be something shorter, and description is more giving you more details of the product. And then I've got tariff code, and then I've got who's, and then I've got another thing called supplier partner ID, nothing but which tells me who is a supplier, which is nothing but because partner ID could be supplier customer, then it tells me who is a partner for this product and nothing but who is a supplier for this product. In the tariff code, don't worry. Quantity unit means quantity unit will tell you in which quantities this is measured in. Because if you look at milk, we measure that in liters. But if you look at pens, we measure that in pieces. Each piece, yeah. So each product could have different unit of measure. So the quantity unit will tell me um, weighing measure or something. This will tell you that weighing unit or currency, price of the product, and the dimensions of the product, width, depth, and height. Okay, so you get to see the dimensions of the product also. That's okay. Then I would like to see the data inside this product table. So you get to see the product ID, a unique ID for each of this product, and there's something called product type code. There's something a PR and there's something called AD and PR, AD and PR, and there's some category of the product. Um, then there's tariff and all those stuff of each. So the quantity unit is each piece, and weighing unit. This weighing unit could be in grams or kg. This is weighted in grams or kgs, and this is always the price. Like so, this 1,388 is price in which currency it is dollars, $138, and when it comes to here 799 euros, and when it comes to here $449, 1700 Japanese, Mexican 900. So each could be a different price in different currencies here. Mm, there's something product picture URL also. So each product has got some images, and there is some URL also maintained here. Okay, I'll come to that. And there's a dimensions, width, depth, and height. Okay, fine. But now the point what I don't understand is when say type code as AD, what does it mean? And when I say PR, what does it mean? I don't really understand this. Okay, so what we can where we can get this information is I told you there is a table called again constants. Now go to the constants table about product, right? It was AD and yeah. Now there is something called there is a domain called there is a column PR type product type. Now let me filter for this. In the product type, now they're maintaining in two languages, German and English. But in English, let's see, PR indicates product and AD indicates advertisement. So AD indicates advertisement and PR indicates product. That's what I understand from the type of the product type code. Okay, but I want to see what is the name. I see the category is fine, but I want to see the name of this product. But when I go to the name, I see something called name ID. I get to see something called name ID bus. I get to see name ID, but I don't see the actual name, but it gives an ID where I need to go to the different table to refer to that name. So what they've done is they've given another table called one second, text. Hmm. So they've given another name, another table called text, which gives the name based on that ID. If I go to this definition, they just have some text ID, language, and then they give you the actual text of it. Yeah. So now if I go to this text table and say open data preview, what is the name ID? Sorry, what was the name ID here? 100 211, right? Go to the text, go to the serial number with 211. It was two. I think it was 211 was. So let me get into this. It is showing only 200 entries. I'm making it as 500 and then. So there's some 211, right? 211. So now if you see 211 English, what it says flyer was. Then when I go to the description ID, again description also says an ID in 212. Again gives from the same text table says 2 won't indicate what? Flyer for, it gives some more description, flyer for our flyer for our new product. Like this, from the name ID and the description ID, I can find out the actual description in the name from the text tables. Again, if you look at this partner, which is nothing but the supplier, what it says 10015, right? I can get the details of the partner again going back to, if I go back to business partner table and address table, I can find out who this partner is about. Okay, like this, we can have the tables linked up with each other. Yeah, this is about products table. Okay, good. Next, there is a table relevant to employees. If you see this, just an employee ID, and then the first name, middle name, last name, and gender, then language, then login name, what is the salary, bank ID, bank. Just it gives you the details of employees who are there with their employee ID. So you get to see employee unique ID for each employee, the first name, middle name, last name, then gender, then language, phone number, email address, login name, and then again there is an address ID. Again, you already know that with this address ID, I can go to which table was. There is a table called already addresses, which can tell me the details of this address, which tells me the city, country to which this person belongs to, and in which currency you works on, what is salary, and the salary could be in any currency, right? So this currency will explain to be say $55,000 and $1 lakh, $100,000. And then I got account number, bank account number, and bank ID, in which bank it goes in, and the name of the bank, and employee picture also. Okay. This is about employees database. Okay. Then okay, apart from this, I told you apart from this major entities about business partner, employees, and products, we have data about sales order and purchasing. See, look at this. This is SO indicates sales order, PO indicates purchase order. So sales order would deal with sales and PO would deal with purchasing. Okay. Now let's see about sales. See, look, again, I told you there will be two things. One is header and item. So header will have the information which is common for all the items in an order, and item will have the information specific to each item of the order. Okay. Now let me see the header first, sales header details. So it has got sales order ID, which is the unique key. For each sales order, you'll have one unique ID, and then it will have created by employee ID, means who created it, and changed by who changed it. And then there's something called note ID. I'll tell you what is this. And it tells you who is a partner involved in this sales. Means it could be a customer. Then what is the gross amount and or net amount or tax amount and their currency. So what is the total value of this order? Gross, net, and tax. So gross minus tax would be your net amount. So total gross amount could be 1,000, and then say tax is 200. Let's say the net amount would be 18. And for all these amounts would be in same currency. So all these three amounts are referred in the currency column here, which tells me in which currency that is referred in. Then I've got life cycle status, whether the sales order is so life cycle status will tell me whether because sales order would have a certain life cycle, say sales order start, in process, or completed. So this life cycle status will tell me whether sales order is completely closed or not. Then I've got billing status, which tells me whether billing is completed or still in progress or not. Okay. And this will tell me delivery state, whether the sales order has been, whether the order has been, goods have been delivered to the customer or not. Okay. Yeah. Demo tables are in schema SAP HANA underscore demo. I'm referring to the schema SAP underscore HANA underscore demo. In the last class, I told you if you don't have that, how do we import? Okay. Now let me see the content of this table. Sales order header. See, open preview. See, you see these details. You see a sales order ID with you. Each row is one sales order, 0, 1, 2, 3. And it gives me employee ID who created this or something. Don't worry on this. Note ID, there's nothing. Okay. Then it tells me the partner who created this, who was a customer to whom we have sold this order. It is 42, but this from this 44, I can go to the business partner table to find out who is that. And this is the currency, and this is the gross amount, net amount, tax amount. All these are measured in which currency was euros. There could be someone, yeah, euros. Okay, fine. Then you see something called life cycle status, billing status, and delivery status. If you see life cycle status, there is something with some are with N and some are with C. So you could see C, N, X, or you say. But I don't know what is C, what is N, and what is X. Okay. So for this, I can get into this table constants again to know what is X and what is N and what is C. Now let me go to this. It is about sales order, right? Go to the domain. You'll see a domain called DSO sales order LC life cycle. Okay, set filter on this. Now let's focus on only on English. N indicates it's a new sales order. P indicates it is in progress. C indicates it is closed, and X indicates it's been cancelled. Okay, fine. Like this. Sorry, I unnecessarily closed. Same way, you have something called billing status. Billing status tells me either it is I or P, but I don't know what is I. Again, there are the same table constant which is giving me that. I clicked in, it's opening it. Yeah. What is this? SO, right? D, not USO. What was yours? Yeah, CF is for billing. DSO billing. You'll have I and P. I is it is initial, and B pay. P indicates it's paid. The billing is paid. We could have only two things, P and I. Okay. Next, I've got something called delivery status. SO. Here, look at this. OR. Okay. So I indicates it is initial and D indicates deliver. So it could have either of the values I or D. I indicates it is initial and D indicates it is already been delivered to the customer. Okay. Like this, you can get to see header details. So from the partner ID, if I go, let's say, if I see this some sales order, if I see some, let's go to the sales order here, 24. This is from which partner 10005, right? Now, if I got to know the details of this partner, I can go to the business partner table and find, right? I can go to business partner table and say what is partner 5, which says Techem is my company name. Okay. Again, if I want to know the address of this, again I need to catch hold of this address ID 34 and go to the address table and then get the details. Like this, to get certain valuable information, I'll have to go to jumping into lots of tables and get that out. Yeah. Okay. That's okay. I'm able to get customer and all this. So from this header, from the sales header table, I'm able to get who is the customer of this order and what is the total value of this order, tax amount or the net amount, and I'm able to get the statuses majorly. What is the status of this order as per whether it's been closed or what is the billing status and what is the delivery status. Yeah. But I would like to see, because see, this amount of 26,000 euros could not be a single product. It could be multiple products the customer has purchased. So for this sales order of 00, how many products did he purchase? So that I can, how many products, for each product, what was the quantity, what was value of each of the product or each of the item in the sales order, then I would get those details in the item, sales item. Now go to sales item, open definition of this table. So here I get to see sales order. For each sales order, I get to see multiple items. So both are acting as primary key here. So that becomes a composite key. When you have two tables with primary keys, two columns primary composite key. Then I get to see what is the product ID, and I get to see some note ID, gross amount, tax, net amount, tax amount, and currency. Now, can you tell me? I see gross amount, net amount, tax amount in header table as well as item table. What is the difference? I get to see gross amount, net amount, tax amount in header table as well as item table. Can anyone say what is the difference? In header, it gives me gross amount, net amount, tax amount of all the items consolidated of one order. But in the item level, it gives me gross, net, and tax amount specific to each of the item of the order. Okay? Then it gives me item status. See, in the header, I get to see complete order status. Now here I get to see item status of an order. Um, item first view, I don't know. I get to see the what is the quantity and what is unit and what is the delivery date. So what is the value of this item and what is the quantity you're selling? Because the quantity is specific to each product. That's why I don't get to see quantity in the header. Okay. Go to item. So you see this sales order ID. If you look at this, sales order ID is 0000. If I try to filter on the sales order, so for one sales order, I see multiple items like say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And each item indicates one product HT1000, HT1001, 2, 3, 7, 10, 11, 30, 31, 32. And for each item, there is a specific gross amount. When I aggregate this amount, will be maintained in the header. The sum of this gross amount will be in the header table. Sum of this net amount will be in the header table. Sum of this tax amount will be in the header table. But again, you see each one could are in different currencies also. Okay. Now this is the quantity. This was one piece, two piece, three piece, and then this is a quantity sold. And there's something called item status. Item ATP nothing but availability to promise. Item availability status. Again, I get to see that in constants. If I go to there is a table constant which gives a description of everything. So it is about sales order item, right? See, there's something domain called SO item ATP, say like that. Now I indicates it is initial, A indicates it is the stock is available, and N indicates not available. So like this, I can know whether item it is initial, still it is initial phase of it, whether it is available or not available. I can know that. Okay. Like this, I can have the sales order item. Now, if once I know, let's say I have this product ID, and if I want to know the details of the product, where do I get in? I can find that in the product details. If I go to product details, I get to see details of the product. Okay. Yeah. So this is how it is. Now, what I want is, as a point of practice, I want you to go through these two tables: PO header, purchase order header, and item, because it will be pretty much same concept. Because sales indicates about sales and the PO indicates about purchase. So you go through those two tables, purchasing and header. But I just want one more. Is not null. So they're not okay, fine. And there is also some concept of another table called notes, because there are some table with note ID. So from the note ID, I can find out some note, who is author of this note and what is the thumbnail link or something. I can okay. We can also use this. So basically, now if you see, whenever I'm trying to look at some information about the business, about sales, I'm going across tables. First, I'm going to sales header to find what is the sales order, who is the customer, then what is the total value, what is the status of the order. If I want to know the items of that order, then I'm getting into item level table. Then from there, if I want to know details of the partner who performed this order, then I'm going into business partner table. For that business partner, if I want to know the address, I'm going into the address table. From the item level table, if I want to know information of the product, I'm going into products table. From products table, if I want to know the name table, I'm again going into text table to get the name from the name ID. If I want to know the description of the text product, again I'm going to text table based on the joining on the. So it means what? So when I'm looking at some information, so business. See, if you look at business users, they will not like to see go into lots of tables and get the information what they want. So they would like to see, based on their requirement, they would like to see that information in a single view. So as part of this modeling effect or modeling activity, we will join those tables. So now you understand the importance of. So I have address information in address table, business partner details in business partner table. To get both the data set as one view, I need to combine. I need to join those tables. I need to build an association between those tables. and do some project some columns from business partner table, project some columns from address table, then join the address and business partner table to apply some filtering, slicing and dicing everything, and then project the view what business user would like to have. So that is what modeling. So modeling at you don't take it as if some people might teach you step one, right click, step two, select this menu, step three, specify name, specify description, click OK, step four, choose table one. No, that is don't go with that. Try to be logical. See, when you try to be logical, you can handle any scenario. Boss. I don't have to teach with real time tables, real time all this. You can handle any scenario you if you are logical. Okay. So what I want you to understand is you should be very free, okay, in thinking. Just assume like this, I've got my data spread across lots of tables. Now I would like to consume these tables, slice and dice, and then join those tables and do a bit of massaging or calculate some new column. Let's say now I have employee first name, last name, middle name, but user would like to see his name as complete as one column. Then I might have to concatenate and derive a new column. Or I would like to hide some columns, calculate new column. Let's say I've got quantity and amount. I would like to calculate the unit price of what is unit price of the product. So I'll say amount divided by quantity. So basically, apart from the existing columns, what is there, you might have want to derive new columns. Okay. So now, based on the tax amount, I have tax amount and I've gross amount. Now I would like to know what is the percentage of tax we paid. So what is the percentage of tax amount on gross amount? So it could be any kind of derivations you can do. So whatever the business user expects to see, it could be straight away available in the one of the column in the table, or you might have to derive from the existing columns by performing some calculations or by applying some filters, restrictions, whatever it is. Ultimately, we will have to give what business user wants and model it as per that requirement. That will be the requirement. So, what do the business user want to see? Let's say, as a business user, you want to see some 10 columns which are coming from different tables. Then, based on that, you'll analyze how do we bring this information from all these tables? How do I join these 10 tables? How do I bring the data into at one stretch? And then test the data out, then expose it for reporting, and business users can start analyzing the data. Did you all understand the context? And because understanding the data is very important. Once you understand data, you can play with the modeling bus. It's very easy. So don't take it as steps. Just be logical enough, and then you can implement any scenario or any logic you want. Font size. Okay. Sir, can you share first class recording video? Please, anything, talk to Pawan. Okay. Okay. He was read out. What is the difference between two tables seen for each demo table with brackets? One public, one SAP. Where is it? One public. What is the public? I didn't understand. What is the difference between this one? Public synonyms? Don't worry about public synonyms. Don't worry on that. Okay, good. Now, boss, I also want to stress on another point regarding these videos. If you see, so what I'm doing is we have our own portal site where we configure the course. So if you go to this website, pratap.reddy.vizyqxt.com, okay, vizyqxt.com, and you basically see once Pawan tells me I'm going to sign you up, then you can just click on login and then you log in into that. Okay, you log in. Okay, so once you log in into this, okay, you'll automatically get the courses if you already enrolled. First of all, once I enroll you in the course, because once Pawan gives me the email ID, we'll be able to see the courses like this. I'll enroll you into the course. Then if you find here, okay, otherwise you can go to the menu and click on the menu called courses, then you get to see this, and then you say view or enroll course, start learning. So when you see the view course, what I've done is I'm administrator. So when you go to the course, you get to see a sections like section one, section two, all this. So what I've done is as part of section one, I'm uploading all the videos of your current, it says present batch videos. So as part of day one, what is that? Day one, then we had client tools, then HANA database. This, so I'll keep on adding the day by day class here, okay, in this section. Then I told you as part of HANA SQL and scripting, I already made some videos, right? In section 2, you'll see those videos which I already made. So if you want to know more about column store tables and merging, delta merge, all those, which no one is referring, but now it's better to have that knowledge, so go into that. In section 3, I've given some videos on building the databases, how to build the database with SQL, tables, sequences, triggers. I spoke about every component in the schema. And then if you go to section 4, it's about SQL functions. In SQL, you have functions. Then we're scripting with stored procedures. I've given lots of videos here. So please, apart from the daily class, also spend 2 hours time in going through this every day, two videos or one videos, because the basic, this database basic should be very simpler. It could be taking not much more time. Okay. So section 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be add-on videos, additional videos. Okay, which is on the SQL and scripting. I didn't want to waste time like previous batches. So because I spent a lot of time, but at the end of the day, many people are not interested. So this is the I thought of this mechanism now. So all the people who have registered, please go through these videos at least in section 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you'll get more idea on SQL and scripting. Boss. I want you to go through this. Okay. Thank you. Boss.